"20 overs between the two best teams of the tournament so far have yielded 162 runs for 4 wickets after the Capitals won the toss and decided to have a bat at Abu Dhabi." On Whirlpool presents ESPN Cricket for T20 Timeout, powered by Dell. Sanjay Manjrekar is here. He's kept a very close eye on this game. And usually when these sort of scores come up, the first question I have to ask my guest is, what kind of score is it? 162 for 4. Sanjay, make sense of it?
When you're at a certain distance, you sort of make an educated guess watching how the batsmen played. If you remember, there was that game where Delhi Capitals was set to chase 160 against Sunrisers Hyderabad, and Akash Chopra and myself, we had a disagreement. I thought Delhi Capitals batsmen played a little conservative. He felt the pitch was difficult. Same kind of equation has come up today. My observation is again that the batsmen have been a little conservative. They have been hampered by the absence of Pant and Hetmeyer. But when you have a left-arm spinner like Krunal bowling 4 overs for hardly anything to a left-hand batsman all through his 4 overs. Now, that is something that would never have happened in the IPL, where you had a left-arm spinner bowling all his 4 overs with one left-hand batsman out there. Chahar as well wasn't scored off. So, I got the impression that, again, this was a batting approach for the long haul. So I don't want to sort of hazard a guess whether that is going to be risky. Was this the plan? Was Shikhar Dhawan told to anchor the inning? 160. What is the average first inning score now in this IPL Abu Dhabi?
Yeah, I mean, Mumbai have got 190 on occasion. I guess it's surface dependent. If we have to just look at average scores, we've seen 190 be plenty, 170 be plenty. We've also seen 165, 170 be chased comfortably. So I guess it's surface dependent. What I would ask you, therefore, is when you look at a game from afar, which we are doing right now, what is the evidence of a good surface or not? Because I saw Ajinkya Rahane time of you in the beginning, and I felt, oh, this must be good to bat on. Now, is that right, wrong? What kind of observation do you make that tells you that this is actually a XYZ wicket?
I'm going to focus on the two spinners, right? Because they bowled 8 overs. And they are not the greatest spinners in the IPL. They're very smart T20 bowlers. I don't think Chahar even turned a single ball. Krunal Pandya doesn't turn it. So I would think that they would be bowlers that the batsman would want to score off, especially Shikhar Dhawan against the left-arm spinner. He did only once, hit 1-6. And, Shreyas Iyer is renowned, and we talk about his great prowess to hit the spinners. But again, I don't think there was a serious attempt made by him to go after the spinners. And when Shikhar Dhawan got a 50, if you saw the response in the camp as well, in the dugout, it wasn't like, wow, well done. So it seemed like Delhi Capitals was sitting inside and thinking, are we doing the right thing? Because it was slightly on the conservative approach, and there was nothing from afar to suggest that this pitch, again, looks very difficult to bat on, and 160 looks like a winning score.
The other question I do want to ask you is, what do you read of intent shown by batsmen at times? At times we can see batsmen trying to hit the big shot and either not get their timing right, or as we saw in the earlier game today, that the wicket holds a little, so maybe they can't play their shots as naturally. Did you get that impression that the batsmen were showing intent and not getting runs? Or do you look at a lack of intent in terms of scoring big as well?
See, Delhi Capitals has been a very interesting batting unit. You actually look at their batsmen and you can see the guys who have shown intent to score quickly no matter what. Prithvi Shaw has been that batsman. Shreyas Iyer has done on occasions, not every time. Shikhar Dhawan, more often than not, hasn't shown that kind of intention. Pant has played again the long haul, hoping to get in form. Let's be fair to him, he hasn't really hit his mark yet. Stoinis, Hetmeyer have looked always to score quickly. Today, when Shikhar Dhawan was on 49, it was a ball on his pads, I think must have been bowled him, and he picked a single on the leg side. Now, that was a ball that would be hit for a 6 if a guy is just looking to maximize, the score and try and score of every ball. I got the impression that they played for the long haul, both Shreyas Iyer and Shikhar Dhawan. There was no intent in the large part of the partnership towards the end. When Shreyas Iyer got himself into that kind of a mood, then he tried to break out and play a big shot and got out.
Right, fair enough. The best strike rate, if you look at that scorecard, was an 8-ball innings by Marcus Stoinis, which yielded 13. And he looked like he was really turning it on. And then that happened in the 17th over, he got run out. How big a moment could that be after we look at this game?
not a big moment because you feel sorry for people like Stoinis. Now, he's not
Hmm.
in the team because he's a slogger. He's a proper batsman. He's been in terrific form. I think he's played superbly. He came in with just 4 or 5 overs left because a lot of the overs were consumed by batsmen who were going at a strike rate of 110, 120. So you feel a bit sorry for people like Stoinis. And whether it's a big moment, I'm not so sure. Because I think a lot of the damage should have been done earlier. The other smart thing that Mumbai Indians did, and I'm thinking that this was really thought out by Rohit, is that maybe he studied the approach of the Delhi Capitals batsmen, how they're going to go about, especially with Pant and Hetmeyer not there. If you watched, he bowled all his lesser bowlers while Shikhar Dhawan and Shreyas Iyer were out there. He bowled his spinners as well, despite knowing of Shreyas Iyer's reputation. Bumrah
Yeah.
came in the 12th over, so he kept quality for late when they were forced to go on the attack.
Yeah, it's a fair point you make, and maybe we can spend a little more time on Krunal Pandya now, who seems to be getting his mojo back as the tournament gets deeper. Started off in the fifth over, and you observe the use of Krunal Pandya, who you have said is not necessarily the most dangerous bowler, but finds a way to succeed in T20 cricket. You compare him with others, who have his skill set. And what stands out about Krunal Pandya?
Well, he's a left arm spinner, but he gets the ball to go away from the left hander, to begin with. So he's very smart. He has this ball that he holds like this and bowls. So he knows exactly what's happening out there. But Shikhar Dhawan in the earlier matchup, actually, I've seen him against Krunal Pandya go after him. The moment a left arm spinner comes in, you go after him. Yuvraj Singh would have gone after Krunal Pandya because that is almost like an obligation that you carry as a left-handed batsman. Having said all that, you've got to take your hats off to Krunal Pandya to return with those kind of figures when he had a left-hand batsman to bowl to all the time. Got Ajinkya Rahane out as well, got another wicket later. So, tremendous performance for a left-arm spinner, having had to bowl all his 4 overs with the left-hander out there.
All right. And as we just look at the second innings, I guess there will be a lot of firm opinions made by you at the end of this game, looking at whether Mumbai Indians chase the score easily or not. If Delhi are to make a fight of this, what do they need to do, Sanjay?
Well, Delhi have the bowling attack. They've got Rabada was already warming up. Noke, is a bowler who hits the length. The odd runs that were scored were when bowlers were trying to get full. So maybe they may not bowl as full. You expect Ashwin to be, have some tricks up his sleeve. You expect Mumbai Indians to get there. But one of the limitations that we have as experts, and we are also divided on that when we watch from afar, is exactly how the pitch is. That's why when I'm doing commentary, I go out there, I have a look at the surface, and then I'm more certain about, what score is right and how the pitch is playing. But from afar, your guesses may not be as good. I think Delhi Capitals just played under the required rate, and Mumbai Indians, by this logic, should be able to get there unless the pitch has a surprise for us.
All right. We'll probably make a more informed assessment after we've seen both teams bat. But Ashwin takes the ball in the power play for you against Quinton de Kock and Rohit Sharma.
I think that is likely to happen with the South African batsman, left-hander as well. And he has bowled in the power play this season. Didn't bowl much earlier in the IPL, but it's good to see that he's doing that a lot more for Delhi Capitals. Interesting that this is a bowling attack that doesn't have a wrist spinner, but is doing really well as a bowling attack.
Yep. Point noted. Let's see how Mumbai approach this, and then we'll get more detailed analysis. I think there'll be some very sharp comments from Sanjay Manjrekar on how this Delhi innings went about at the end.
Just comments. By the way I see things.
Sanjay, thank you very much.
Thank
Always a pleasure getting your time and your thoughts. And we'll get them again at the end of the game on Whirlpool Presents ESPN Cricket for T20 Timeout powered by Dell. For now, what the Mumbai Indians need is 163 to claim top spot just before the halfway point of this year's tournament.